What is going up, guys? This is the Flamespot here, and we are back with a brand new paper games video. And this paper games video, I am going to teach you how to make and play the unforgiving game of Brigadoom. Let's talk about this. So we're going to start off with an 11 by 11 grid, as in the old types of paper games such as Goal and Capture the Flag. So this is going to be an 11 by 11. You can scale this however you want. However, with most of these games, I always like to just use the space between a college, or space, the margins between a college ruled paper between each line as each of my spaces or grid boxes. So keep in mind that it is 0.7 or roughly 0.7 of a centimeter between each of these lines. So whenever you have to do this, you have to keep in mind that it is around 77 centimeters long and 77 centimeters wide. So I'll speed this part up for you as I make this grid, and I'll catch back with you guys later. Alright, so we are back now with our 11 by 11 grid. Once again, that's 77 centimeters long and 77 centimeters wide, with, of course, 0.7 of a centimeter between every single one of these dots that I made. I made dots on both sides and just lined up my ruler and just drew it, like you saw. So after drawing that grid, you're going to want to actually make a second piece of this game. It is our new navigation map or navigation board, whatever you want to call it. This basically is how your character is going to move around in that 11 by 11 grid. Now, let's make this. So what you're going to need is a new piece of paper, or it can be an old piece of paper, it can be whatever you want. You're just going to make a square by folding the corner to one side, and then you're just going to cut off the end. I'm sure most of you guys know about this trick, but this basically, if you don't, and if you just fold it, then it makes a pretty good square to work with. With this extra piece of paper, you can just throw it off to the side. You don't need that. Next, you're going to take your ruler, and you're going to measure, if you use a regular piece of paper, you're going to measure 3 centimeters from the end of each side. The reason why I'm using 3 is because if you actually see on this piece of paper, whenever I measure from this end to the line, it's roughly 3. It's almost exactly 3. And also, if you, oops, I just knocked the camera. If you look on this side, although you can't see it here, if you turn it over, you can see that there's the faint outline of the other line. Well, whenever you're drawing this out, you can actually see it through the paper, although you can't see it on camera right now. But that's also 3 centimeters away from the end. So what I'm going to do is just go and make, and draw some points wherever there's 3 centimeters so that I can draw some lines. Alright, now I'm just going to draw my lines. And what this is going to do, what I'm doing right now is basically making the corners of this stick up. Alright, so we have our rough box. It might be a little crooked, but that doesn't necessarily matter. Now what you're going to do next, you're going to take your ruler and you're going to measure out 5 centimeters up every side. So we're basically making another grid. This is going to be the 3 by 3 grid on the inside. Each of these is going to be roughly 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters since it's a square. So 5 centimeters tall, 5 centimeters wide. We're just going to have a 3 by 3. So let's do that. Alright, so now that we have our 3x3 grid, we can now start folding everything inwards. Now, so all we're just going to do, we're just going to fold all of the sides from where we made the outside boxes. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing ever has to be perfect with these. It's just, if you want to keep on, or if you want to make it very accurate or very much the same likelihood of moving in any direction, you can make it more precise. However, being that this is just a quick explanation of how to make this, it doesn't really have to be anything good. So now that we have this folded, you're going to want to take scissors, or you can rip it even, and you're just going to cut off the corners of the inside of this flap so that everything isn't weird whenever you try to lift up any part of this. Alright, so now that we have all these flaps cut, you're just going to take a piece of tape, or you don't even have to, you can actually just fold it back here and fold it like that. I actually recommend that you write in your directions first. So we have in the center it's going to be stay, we have up going up, down going down, right going right, and left going left. We also have diagonal movements in this game. There we go. So now after we have this, you can either just try to secure it in, or you can tape it in, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take a small piece of tape and then just cut off small little pieces. And just stick it on the backs of these guys. Oops. So with this game board, actually, while I'm continuing to make this, you can actually change up this game board to be however you want. It doesn't just have to be a movement system. You can have, let's say in your OP RPG, if you want to make a challenge, instead of doing the basic combat system, which is you can choose whatever you want, or you can use an item whenever you want, you can actually change attack or items. You can make this your battle menu, if you, let's just say, or your movement in OP RPG. This can be whatever movement system you want, and you probably can, I can probably guarantee that you will see this box movement system at some other point in one of my other paper games. Now that we have that made, basically all you're just going to have to do is take one die, and you can flip it wherever you want. You can just drop it from the center. It should basically have the likelihood of the die landing in any of the boxes that you want. Sometimes it might go to one side more, maybe that's just because you didn't drop it right, or it doesn't really matter. Basically it's just supposed to be random, and a new way other than just rolling dice in which way you go. So now that we have our movement boxes, we can go back to the map and figure out how to make our tracks. Now, we're going to go on to the drawing of the game board. So this is not only just this is the game board, you actually have to draw different game boards, and it all depends on what you want to play. However, I'm going to just show you right now the most basic form of this game called Brigadoom. So we need to add our start, which is going to be in the exact center of this. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's in the exact center, so there's 5 boxes, grid boxes, all around it, and that's where your character is going to start. Now you can, if you have a different scale, you can use whatever you want as your character. I'm just going to use this little Lego 1x1 stud that I've used in the past for other paper game projects. And I'm just going to have that as my character. I'm going to move him off to the side right now because I am not done. Now, what you can do, you can customize your levels to make them how hard you want. And what do I mean by customize? I mean, you are right now in the castle, the ruins of the forgotten city of Brigadoom. Now, Brigadoom used to be a happy place filled with trade and marvelous creations and architecture, but it fallen due to war and age, and has become ruins. Now, all around you, there are different sorts of traps, pitfalls, and other things that want to basically kill you. So, we are in the center of the ruin. You find yourself here, and you're surrounded by many of these traps. So, we have a key right now. So, if you just shade in a box, that means it's a pitfall. So I'm gonna write that off to the side. So it equals pitfall. Now, next we have fires. So there's fires amongst the ruins. You can just make fire however you want it to look. You can have like double flame. You can color code everything. You know, you don't even have to draw the symbols. You can just color code things. So if you see like spikiness, that's fire. Now all these traps, they're gonna have different meanings to them, and different parts of it. So just fill your map up with these traps while you go with it. Now, we have another trap which includes the bomb. Obviously, sometimes I guess past the Renaissance, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's fantasy. Who knows? But there is a bomb. So just put them everywhere, and we're gonna fill up this map with different traps right now. A lot of pitfalls. Also, feel free to put them anywhere, close to the player at the start, or around the edges. So, after this, we have multiple other things that we can use. We have 3 more types of different unique things. Oh, I forgot to add the bomb to my list of categories. Bomb. Alright, we have the tile. And now what a tile is, it's going to affect, it might save you or it might hurt you. It depends. This is a very versatile item in this certain spot of Brigadoom that you can get. So it's just a rectangle, so it's just a tile. I'll explain these all later. We also have the die, so just draw your best rendition of a die. I know this is a little small to the camera, but it's just, I'm just making like a cube, like a 3D cube. I'll try to make this one bigger. And then just adding some dots around it to make it look like it's an actual die. Let's put 3 of those in the map. Now this one's gonna face the other way. Ooh, 3D cubeness. Alright. Ooh, corners are looking a little shy. Alright, and we also have one more called the redo. Now, that one probably sounds very self-explanatory. Redo is an arrow just curving around. Let's see, I forgot about the die over here. Die. Oh, it doesn't equal like death, it equals just, you know, a die. And then we have redo. Now, let's look at your character. Whenever you move, you're going to move to a certain spot of the map. I'll go on to movement system after explaining this. So whenever you move, you're going to randomly go to a different spot. You might be like, whoa, I'm just choose what I want, but that's not really going to be the case. Now, for the bomb, your player has a certain amount of life. You can choose however many lives you want based on how hard you think the labyrinth of Brigadoom is. So, let's just say in this example, since there's quite a few different traps in here, let's just say that my character has, in this level, let's say 4 lives. So 4, 3, 2, 1, go at it like my notices in my OP or in my Spy Master game. So you can just cross off whatever life. Alright, so now we have all these different items. So the pitfall. What the pitfall does, let's say if you are right here and you move and you get inside of the pitfall, then you're going to take 1 life and you're going to go back to the previous tile that you're on. So if you're on this tile and you go to the pitfall, you're going to go back here and you're going to cross off 1 life. So move back and cross off. Alright, next we have the bomb. So if you land on a bomb, you get -1 life as well. but then the bomb is going to disappear, but then a pitfall is going to be created. So you can just completely like surround that one area with bombs, and then after you activate it, there's going to be a pitfall. Again, in that situation, you are going to have to move back one space after you activate the bomb, so that you don't automatically fall in the pitfall. So if I was in this square, I moved onto the bomb would blow up, I'd move back one, and this would form a pitfall. Alright, next we have the fire, which fire is just going to be -1 life. It's just a regular damage thing that you can get on. Nothing special. You don't have to move anywhere. As soon as you get on it, you can move away afterwards. However, the fire is not going to disappear. It's always going to be there, so if you go back onto the fire, then you lose another life. Going on to the next piece is the towel. So if you go onto here, then we will use our movement system to try to help us. So like I said, this could hurt you or this can benefit you. If you get onto a towel, then you can use whatever you want, whether it be a penny or a sticky note to cover up one of these little areas, or even, well, a shark tooth. I mean, if you want, probably would stick to thinner things such as sticky notes or pieces of change, because whenever you roll a die, you don't want it to actually like hit off of that item right there and then go to a different place that you want. However, the point of the tile is basically you can put this tile wherever you want. You have to put it down within 2 turns. So let's say if you go a tile here and then you don't think that you're in danger anywhere from moving, so you want to keep a hold of your towel. So you go again, and then by the next move, so you can do one free move, but then by that next move, you have to place down your tile, even if you don't want to. Now what the tile does, as I say, you can put it in any spot on the navigation map thing, and basically what that means, if you roll onto it, then you don't actually have to take that. You can re-roll again until you get you roll your die onto something where the tile is not on. You can have multiple tiles on the map, so you can have 2 of them on the map or on the navigation map, and basically you get to have them on here for 2 turns as well. You don't just have them for 1, so you have to be careful on when you place your tile, because maybe you might want to, let's say if you're right here and you don't want to go right since there's a pitfall, so you put the tile on your right thing. But let's say that you go up diagonal 1, let's just say, and now you feel like you do want to go right, or you want to have the option to go right or up, since that would lead you out of the labyrinth. However, you cannot move the right thing, so even if you land on it, you cannot go right. You have to re-roll, which could be a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing. Now, we have the die. Now what the die does, it just allows you to re-roll. So you can have tiles on the board, you might not want to have tiles on the board, but let's just say you're in a tough situation right here, you roll, you get into the right, and you're like, no, I don't want to do that, so I want to use one of my dice. You can have dice are forever. As soon as you pick one up, then you can keep it forever. Unlike tiles, which, like I said, tiles you have 2 turns before you have to use it. Dice, you can use them wherever you want. To represent dice, you can have pieces of change to the side. You can have spare dice and just have them to the side as you roll with another die. It depends on whatever you want to use for the symbol for dice whenever you land on it. Now, the most enraging of all of these items that you can land on is the redo. Now, the redo is best placed all around the outside, so not just in these 2 places. You can put them here, you can put them all around the outside. And what the redo does, it's exactly what it sounds like. If you land on the redo, you have to go back to the start, no matter where you are. Even if you think that you're going to get out of the labyrinth, you have to go back to the start and start all over. No extra lives, no anything, just through the pain of going through it again. And if you think about it, let's say if you activated a lot of bombs, you're going to have to go around all those new pitfalls again. So, yeah. So, now that we have all the parts and pieces together, we can now finally play our game. So we have our game piece at the start, and we are going to play. So, this game can get a little maddening because you might just lose so many lives, or you might get to the end and then hit a redo. Basically, that's just how it goes. Now, the point of the game is to move so that you go to the last tile, and then you actually have to move one more out of the tile. So just because you're on the end doesn't mean you win. You have to go outside. So that might be a little annoying in case let's just say you're right here and you go up and you redo, or you go down, this is your last life and you get a pitfall and you have to restart. You have to go outside. That means that you have basically a 1/3 chance of going out, since if you hit the left or the diagonals, then you're out. So just think of it as a basic grid system. Now, along with movement, whenever you roll, you have whatever direction you go, but you also have how many boxes you go. So you have 2. So there's a pretty good probability that you can actually just roll, let's just say, look at this, if you roll a 6 from the start, you can leave, you can win just like that. If you want to give yourself an option of doing that, I mean that's a very low chance of that actually happening, you can do that. Or you can just always have a way of blocking you with a trap in some way so you can't win from the start. It's however you want to make your map. So let's play an actual game. I'm giving myself 4 lives with my map and my movement system, so let's roll. Alright, I got 3 down to the right, so 1, 2, 3. Alright, that's -1 life already. But I'm right here, so I'm pretty far along right now, so let's go again. We have 4 to the left. I picked up 1 tile, so let me just keep this penny right here to serve as my tile, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I am surrounded by a pitfall, another tile, and a die. I don't necessarily want to use my tile yet. I'm going to hold on to it. And let's just roll again. Alright, down 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so now that I'm at the edge, this is a really good opportunity. I'm actually now going to use my 1 tile, and I'm going to make sure I cannot go right since I don't want to redo. Now basically, the only thing that can mess me up now is if I go up to the right, or if I stay. But everything else, I will win. Alright, I went down 4, so I won. Look at that. That's pretty easy. I'll do one more game of this. It should be a little harder. Let's just go with 3 lives now. And let's restart. Okay, so let's go. 5 to the diagonal. 1, 2, 3. I lost a life, and now I'm here. So down to 2 lives. I am surrounded by a lot of things, but I could also get an extra die, potentially. Up, 6. 1, 2, 3. Pitfall. I have to go back. So now I'm down to 1 life. So I could lose right here if I go to the right, up, diagonals. I am surrounded by traps. Alright. Oh, whoa. I just rolled off of the table. If you roll off the table, then of course you can re-roll. Alright, to the right 2. 1, 2. Wow. I'm in not a good position. Alright, left 3. 1, 2, 3. I feel like I'm doing like the Cupid shuffle right now. And diagonal 5. Boom. I hit a pitfall. That was my last life. Now, when you lose, you go back to the start. You can regain your lives then. And then try to restart. Just think about all of the hard maps that you can do. You can like do a pitfall only, where you can only like have like 2 ways out of the exit to keep going, or you can put a lot of traps around the outside, so that you can potentially die whenever you finally make it to the outside. It can be however you want to shape this game. So with that, basically this is going to wrap up the video. If you have any paper game ideas, put them down in the comments. I will make sure to get back with you, see if I can do them. I still have quite a few number of suggestions I still have to complete now. I just wanted to get this video out pretty soon. And this is the Flamespot, signing out.